Yo guys, what's going on? It's your boy Burkround88 coming to the YouTube video, and we have our very first NHL 26 team review. We're doing our team reviews this year on stream, so you're also going to be accompanied with chat. So let's get into it, guys. Let's see what everyone has done at the start of NHL 26 and who's got the best squad, because there are some nasty ones in there using all of the lineup combinations. Let's get into it. I hope you enjoy it. All right, boys. The first team review of NHL 26, and of course, we're starting with Fedorov. We got Fedorov and Chara. What an absolute combo here. And they took Morgan Riley with their deluxe edition pack and Brodin with their captain. Making some good work here. Improving their team. Clearly free to play. Logan Thompson, actually. Is that packed? That's built. They built Logan Thompson, boys. They built Logan Thompson. So the first thing I would notice here is you should probably pair up your 78 overall left winger with your second line with Sean Monahan to activate your Canadian AP. And that would also activate your American AP on your fourth line, giving you a couple more boosts to hopefully help you activate all your AP on all your players. That would be the first thing I would look at here. Tank says W team just needs a little bit more line chems. Exactly. You get that Canada on your second line and that American on your fourth line, and you're laughing. You're laughing. A little bit more AP to help you activate everybody out. But good team looking so far right now. Keep plugging away at it. You'll get it eventually. And you definitely need to get onto central players. You need to get a hold of central players. When you get a chance, take Joseph Wool off your off your backup goalie. Get a central goalie in there. And then maybe work on getting... Well, you don't want to take Cernak out of your defensive spot because that's actually an AP boost chemistry there. So you want to start working on getting more central players so you can get more AP. Because AP is going to allow you to get everyone on your team activated, helping you boost everything up. Mario saying 6 out of 10 start. Loves the team. Keep up the good work, buddy. Just keep grinding your moments, doing your cup chases, and you'll be just fine. The Penguins here, playing a little bit of ranked. They're in Bronze 1. So they have played one ranked game, it looks like. And they're 1-0. Good for them. We got Joseph Wool. We still got a lot of starters. But what we do take, we took Faber with Andres Lee, Jeremy Roenick, and Teemu Solani. I know you're just getting started, and you haven't really probably done much to get your team cranking along. But if you can get your hands on any Chicago Blackhawk, you would find that would be the most beneficial for you by putting Andres Lee on your second line and a Chicago Blackhawk on your first line to activate that AP and get everyone +2 overall. And also potentially look at switching your sides. It looks like you got your right wingers, your right-handed forwards on your right wing and your left-handed forwards on your left wing. Look at switching those, gives you more opportunities at one-timers. Mario likes your picks, and he likes the way you're going. He definitely loves that combo of Teemu Solani and Jeremy Roenick. All right, we see our first team without any starters on it here. We got line A, Fedorov, Naslin, all rocking that first line. And then Faber is going to be our pick. Faber's going to be a popular pick. He's really fast. Everyone's going right after that card, so it makes a lot of sense. We don't have the line A activated here. We should probably try to get line A activated for your boosts. You have 4 activated out of the 6 you need. You could probably look at trying to get your backup for an Atlantic player and then maybe try to squeeze somebody in somewhere else. But you do have the AP here on your fourth line. Oh, no, you have your AP activated for Canada on your third line, so you can't activate it on your fourth. If you need a fast defenseman, boys, Jeremiah Buka is 80 overall with like 89 speed. So this is a big steal here. This left-handed defenseman in the middle right below Brock Faber. All right, we got our first massive team right here where we got Chelios with Lindholm on the back end, Yossi and Uyghur, and then we got the 2 Minnesota boys, Faber and Brodin, and you got your AP activated, the help coming from a lot of those Chicago players with Roenick and Frank Nazar. The Solani, Frank Nazar, and Roenick lineup is nasty. That boost is awesome. You picked Solani and Roenick, I'm sure, and then you grabbed Nazar to the moments, which would have been a massive pull. Nice Yossi combo. Sweezy says nice Yossi combo. He loves to see the Yossi Uyghur. 8.5 out of 10 coming out of Mario. Let's go, Mario. I don't think there's any way he can get any more boosts, right? Like, He's got the overall boost here. He's got the Minnesota boys on the bottom end. Like, he might be able to get a boost out of his goalie somehow, but he's probably rocking that goalie because he likes him. I don't think there's much he could do here. This might be something I suggest with Torrey Terry, is either try to find yourself another Finnish player to pair with Roenick and Nazar, or at launch of the game when the new players show up and they're starting to try to find out pairings for their Teemu Selanne, you might want to sell Torrey Terry and make big bank on that. So that's something to keep an eye out on. All right, we got the hub here, who went with Tyler Seguin and Patrick Laine. I love that Patrick Laine pick. I'm enjoying Patrick Laine myself. Bronze 2. Nice. Keep up the good work. A lot of alumni players on this team. We got Selanne and Thornton. I'm sure you took Thornton because you're a Boston fan. Then we got Chara with Lindholm. I have that same pairing of Chara and Lindholm. Very nicely done. Cernak is still on your team because he gives you that boost with the Swedish defenseman and Brandstrom. And then we got the overall boost with your goalies. Nicely done with your team here. 8.5 out of 10 would be a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't a Bruins. Let's go, Mario. So your third line here could get a 2 overall AP boost if you could get your hands on 1 Colorado Avalanche, which I think you probably already know and you're probably already trying to do. But yeah, if you can get 1 Colorado Avalanche here, then you could get John up to a 77, Pavel Zacha up to an 83, and whoever your Avalanche is that you get, you can power him up. That'd be a nice third line, a nice little boost there. We need to try to get Line A activated, whether that be taking your bottom 2 defensemen and getting some Atlantic players in there, or your backup goalie getting an Atlantic player in there. You need to try to activate Line A, because that just gives you AP, and you got some good players here with some good AP in Lindstrom, Danico, and Fedorov. Obviously, you want to get AP activated as much as you can so you can get those guys going. Mario's getting generous with a 9 out of 10. If you bring up Anton Olsen, who's got 85 skating, so he's probably fairly fast, you bring him up in place of Cece, you can get the Sweden Detroit activated to give your players a +2 overall. Big shout out to Sweezy on that one. Holler coming back. We love seeing the Holler team in here. Not a theme team yet. Holler loves to run Leafs theme teams. We don't see it yet, but what we are seeing is an absolute unit of a team where we got not only Morgan Riley, but also Brock Faber. And then we got Chara's regular alumni card with Lindholm, but then Mario, McDavid, Rick Nash, Barzell, massive line here at a Holler. And then also Jeremy Roenick with the Teemu Selanne and Nazar combo. I would say get the AP activated, but you actually got a smart activation here with Germany, Canada, and the Oilers, giving yourself a +1 overall. So that's a nice usage there. It is a sick looking team. He's got 3 overall boosts with his first 2 lines and his goalies. And, oh no, he's got 5 overall boosts. 2 on his forward, 2 on his defense. And then he's got his goalies. Plus, he's got a AP boost on his third line. And I'm almost positive Utah is something with either the States or Minnesota. I can't remember, though. This is probably the first team that's really impressive for activating the overalls, as they got 2 defensive lines activating with the Boston line and then the defensive core up top with Morgan Riley. And then the top 2 forward pairs and the goalies all activating overall boosts. This is a crazy team right out of the gate, and you're probably ready for ranked, and you're just going to crush it. Again, great usage here. Like, look at the lineup here. The Paling, you know how many people want that Paling card? Paling with Kreider and Granlund? That's sick. Rod the Bod, W, Rod the Bod. Yeah, Mitchkoff's the one that's got to go here. You got a nice couple of boosts here activated with your three good lines of Faber and CC, and then your Roenick, Selanne, Bertuzzi line, and then a nice matchup with your Kreider, Paling, Granlund line, and then your Canada line giving you AP. But if you could get rid of Mitchkoff and grab yourself an American forward that's from the Metro, you could also activate AP on your bottom line, probably helping you get even more activated than you already have. So that's a hell of a start. And how is this goalie? Alex Worthington. How is he? Is he playing well for you? All right, Trapper's team comes here with Tikkanen in net. You love to see that. Massive goalie. So you don't really want to do anything there. You got a massive goalie, you just want to let him run. And then you got Morgan Riley and Brock Faber. Which one did you take and which one did you build? I'm very curious on that one. And then a nice Anaheim line. This is a sick Anaheim line with Solani, McTavish, and Granlund getting you that +2 overall. A lot of people would love to have that McTavish to boost up their Solani. And then taking Hemsky and Naslin with Forsberg in the middle. This is a sick squad. And then it just gets better as you look. You got line A with Jokinen and Kaprizov. And then this third line tapers off. If you could just get yourself one more Canadian instead of Pinto, that would give you more AP. This is a sick team. Oh, look what we got here. Our first Steven Stamkos sighting, getting 3 AP with the Canada line. And again, Zadina, if you can pop Zadina out and put an American player in there, because Zadina's not holding any help for your captain, which you need to focus on that as well because you're missing on your captain. So if you can get an American Pacific player, then that gives you 1, and then maybe get rid of Carter George and find another Pacific player, and that could get you all of your AP boost for your captain. But you got a sick top 3 that I probably wouldn't touch. You're getting nice boosts on them, and then your decor is decent as well with Dennis Potvin. I haven't seen a Dennis Potvin or a Stamkos yet today. Thomas Hertl making the squad, which actually, if you can drop Thomas Hertl down to your second line and pair Hertl up with Lehkonen and a Swedish player, I think it is, that can get all 3 of those guys +2 AP or +2 overall. So if you could switch Matthews and Hertl and then get Besser out, which you would have to do a Pacific Swedish player, you could get yourself a nice AP or overall bump on that second line. All right, we got the Minnesota connection of Faber and Brodin. We've seen that a couple of times now. And then Solani, Roenick, Nazar. I don't know how many times we've seen that combination. And then the AP of Canada on the second line and America on the third line. So we got an absolute unit here of a team. Marchenko you probably like, but if you could get 3 Finnish players, actually 3 Finnish players is salary, you have no need for salary. You still got half your salary cap. So yeah, you just keep Marchenko and go from there. If you do get your hands on another Duck, you could kind of play with your lineup combinations of putting Peteris Polomu, nailed it, on your first line here, and Solani could be paired up with a Duck on your second line, shifting down your Canada line with Solani, Granlund, and another Duck if you get your hand on a Duck, but that is it's extremely hard to do right now. All right, we got Tank's team here. Tank is definitely flexing with Hendrik Lundqvist in net at an 88 overall, pairing him up with John Gibson. That's the biggest flex here. You've got Solani, you've got Fedorov, you pulled Pronger. No untradeable. So Tank pulled Pronger here and paired him up with Rasmus Anderson to get himself that AP boost of +5. But absolute flex here with the Luongo pull out of a pack going straight into his net. And then we got the Nashville defenseman with the the Canada defenseman getting you that overall boost. And then Danny Heatley, Tyler Seguin, and Eric Lindros. What a line here for Tank. And the Nikolai Ehlers for the Carolina fan. D2D coming back. D2D has been known to always have one of the best teams out there. But unfortunately, the team name may not apply this year. But D2D coming in with every single icon except Henrik Lundqvist. And yeah, that's absolutely massive. So we got Chelios, Pronger, Thornton, Fedorov, Solani, Beliveau, Gretzky, Curry, Scott Niedermayer, and Dennis Potvin, and then Weegar and Faber on the back end. This team is just cooking. And then we have the Team Canada chemistry to get the AP to help you out with what you need. You definitely need the AP help. And then we've got Sweden on the bottom, it looks like, to help us with the salary, which I'm not gonna lie. I think you probably need the salary help as well. And then the AP help with Cal. You touched everything here. D to D just has an absolute squad. All right, we got an all red team pretty much. It's looking like here. The Montreal Kurt Browns in Division 1, or in Ranked 1, my bad, in Ranked 1. We got Logan Thompson in net with Suzuki, Line, Veleno, Chara, Dougie Hamilton. What's with the Dougie Hamilton? He didn't play in Montreal. We got an all Montreal team here, except this Douglas Hamilton being paired up with Zdeno Chara and this Minnesota player. You almost had it done. Almost had it done. But just falls up short. But look at this. Massive theme team for the Montreal Canadiens. The first William Nylander has appeared. We got a bronze 3 player with Thatcher Demko, Jake Allen in net, getting the overall boost on them. But our first William Nylander has appeared, and they're pairing up with Fedorov and Clayton Keller. And then obviously the Anaheim Ducks connection when you have Teemu Selanne. It's something you got to activate. Larkin and Barzell with Schwind. That is some speed right there. I think all 3 of those guys are over 89 speed. So that's a heck of a team right there. That's a heck of a line. That's a speed line right there. Pierre-Luc Dubois showing up here, but not in the playoffs. I'll never forget what you did to us in fantasy, Pierre. Never. And then we got the Hudson Hornet. What a handle. We're in silver 2 with 3 squares. So the Hudson Hornet is almost ready to shift up to silver 3. Let's go, bud. Lane Hudson on the first line with Brock Faber. And then we got the Boston combination, as you do. And then Tampa Bay with Slavin and Radish. I wonder if you're going to get the Chell Week Slavin on Monday. Bobby Clark, Fedorov, and Sagan on the 4th line. Wild. And then we got Roenick, Line, and Makita doing the 2 Chicago and the finish overall. The Anaheim with Ryan Strome up the middle. And then we have Germany, Canada, and the Oilers getting a +2 overall. This team is definitely taking advantage of the line chemistries. You know what I haven't seen yet is a good old Mike Gartner card. Haven't seen a Mike Gartner card yet. But we got Pronger, we got Fedorov, Solani, and then the Nazar, Granlund, and Roenick combo. Not putting Solani on that line to get that boost. I think you're doing that because Granlund's a lefty and Solani's a righty. If I'm not mistaken, that's probably why you're doing that. And then the all Canada AP on the bottom, and then salary, activating salary just for the heck of it. Let's go. Don't need it. You got 62 million spent out of 103, but why not get some more? One thing you probably could look at doing is if you switch Mackenzie Weegar with Brock Faber, that combination will give you +5 AP just by putting Weegar and Pronger together. So I would look at putting Weegar and Pronger together and getting yourself +5 AP with that connection. And then maybe ditching this 3rd pairing defensive core to try to get yourself the last 2 Pacific players you need to get your AP boost there as well. You've got 10 AP just sitting there waiting to be activated. We have a Teravainen sighting. Everybody and their mother is looking for this card right now. So if that is something you're willing to sell, you could probably maybe tell everybody in the Discord and you would find a buyer probably rather quickly. But we got Teravainen with Roenick and Solani. And then we got the Czech, Colorado, Sweden line of Naslin, Sakic, and Hemsky. And then Gordie Howe with Joe Thornton and Robitaille hitting the AP line. And then another AP line of Forsberg, Sagan, and Matthew Boldy. Every single line here is activating something. All forward lines are activating something. All defense and goalie lines are activating something, and they are $2.4 million under the cap. $2.5 million under the cap. This team is legit pushed to the limits, and it is a nice team, boys. Like, your first two lines are being absolutely pumped up by your overalls on your forward and your D and your goalie. And then you use your secondary offensive lines and your last defensive pairing to pair up your AP. 33 AP on this squad. Tank throwing you a 10 out of 10 with a well-built team. I think this is single-handedly the nicest team we've seen yet. And Mario throwing you a 10.5 out of 10. Well done. Absolutely maximizing on everything at your disposal. And then we got Megalodon's team. We have Ukko-Pekka Lehkonen in net. Ukko-Pekka Lehkonen's a massive goalie that always plays phenomenal against me, but never phenomenal for me. It's one of those goalie things that I'll never learn or figure out. But we got the Chicago Finnish combination with Nazar, Roenick, and Granlund. And then taking Fedorov and pairing Fedorov up with Sagan and Ehlers. That's a great line. Fedorov and Sagan both have good shots. Ehlers and Fedorov have great speed. That's a heck of a line. And we also have Line A as our captain. Did we activate the AP out of Line A? We've got Detroit, Montreal, Tampa, Ottawa, Buffalo. We activated the AP. Well done on this team, Meg. We got our captaincy AP activated, so you love to see it. And we got Line A, Fedorov, and Naslund together. And then you have the Finnish two Chicago players on your second line getting that overall boost. And then the overall boost on your fourth line with Sweden, Czech, and Colorado. Ryan Miller in net. Haven't seen a Ryan Miller yet. You've activated what you can, and the stuff you don't have activated, I can see why. You're not changing around your first line. That's a good first line. And that's probably the best decor you've got on your team right now. So it's a slow work in progress, but you'll get there. All right, we have Solani, Roenick, and Nazar. Great pairing there. We've got the Canada AP on the bottom. I can't catch some of these names in the photo, but I do see we have Granlund and Anders Lee together. And then rocking Allmark in net. You love to see it. CC, I know that card. I've seen enough of that card to know we got CC. And we got Weegar and Faber. We're running a heck of a team right here, man. Good job. Lindholm with Faber. First Adam Foote sighting. And a first Wade Redden sighting as well. And then we got Abel with Larmer and Doc on the bottom pairing. Not activating the Team Canada AP. Or at least it's not showing it. This would activate the Team Canada AP. It's just not showing it. And you are one Colorado player away from getting an overall boost here, but you currently have the overall boost, so I guess you're all right. We got an Ottawa Senators fans here. And who do they have on their team from Ottawa? They got Danny Heatley. And that'll about do it. But we've got Gravikov paired up with Faber. And again, another sighting of this massive defenseman with 89 speed for an 80 overall. That's a great steal if you can find them. And a couple of steals down here as well on the third pairing. This team is built well for the start of the year where you're utilizing some of the low-end cards that have hidden speed. So you like to see it. I don't know anything about this goalie, so I don't know if he's big. But I'm assuming if you have him ahead of Joseph Woll, he's probably a fair decent size. And then we got the Solani, Roenick, Nazar connection that we're just going to see all over the place. The Solani, Roenick combination is probably the most picked together out of the deluxe edition. And then line A with Granlund and Ehlers. That's a nasty line with Ehlers' speed. And I'm seeing a silver 1 player here. So we got another player out of bronze. And this silver 1 player has 3 squares looking to go to silver 2. All right, Jordan. Let's see what Jordan's got. We got Valerie Kukushkin, Zaka, and Marcus Naslund hitting that +2 overall. And then, of course, we've got the Solani, Roenick, Nazar combo. Single-handedly one of the best combos in the game right now. Activating the Canada AP with a great Bellows, Sagan, and the sneaky little good card you can get out of sets or moments, Anthony Mantha. All right, and this is a nasty pairing right here on the top line, and then the second line following it. If you get hit with Nikas, McKinnon, and Naslin, and then that follows up with Hossa, Roenick, and Solani, good luck. And then if you somehow manage to get through those two, you got to deal with Sagan, Fedorov, and Ehlers. I don't know how you manage to deal with this, but if you do, good luck. We got a lot of AP boosts, getting up to 31 AP, and we got Chara with Faber, Blake, Leach. Leach is a well-built card, and then a flex of Hendrik Lundqvist rocking the net. All right, here we go. Sir Canuck dropping his team in here. We have Shea with Uyghur. That's an overall boost. Blake with Faber, overall boost. And Chara with Lindholm, overall boost. So the defense is just cranked on Sir Canuck's team. The goalies are cranked with their overhaul boost. And then that top line of Roenick, Hossa, and Solani. That Hossa's popping up a little bit more and more. Oh, man. If you could drop Fedorov down to the third line, I know that sounds painful and hurts. And then Mario down to the fourth line, again, sounds painful and hurts. And then drop like a Forsberg or a McKinnon in the middle. Ooh. But you're probably already working on that one. By the way, this Bolton card here, guys, crazy fast for a 78 overall. Donkey's team, we got Solani, Roenick, and Thornton. Got Ehlers on the fourth line. This is going to be like the one thing that is the negative about the line synergies. You've got an 81 overall on your first line to get your overall boost. And then Naslin, obviously, on your second line because he's Naslin. And then you get the Canada connection for your AP, leaving the only spot for Ehlers to go on your fourth line. That's going to be the one thing that's like a downer about the lineup chemistries is you get stuck putting people farther down your depth chart. But that's the decisions you got to make when you want to get overall boosts and AP boosts. This guy popped up again. Oh, this is the 6'4" goalie with 90 speed. For the 952nd time, we have Solani, Roenick, and Nazar. And our first Mitch Marner repping the Golden Knights logo in the middle. So with that being said, I don't want to look at this anymore and we're moving on. But we have Fedorov, hell of a pick, and Rantanen on the first line with line A. All right, here we go. We got, again, the Solani, Roenick, Nazar combination and Fedorov. So I love seeing it. Second Rantanen we've seen back-to-back, and then also a Chelios. I'm not going to lie. I pulled Chelios, built Solani, picked Fedorov. We got kind of the same icon situation going on right now. Another unbelievable team where we have Sweden, Colorado, and Czech getting that +2 overall. Solani, Roenick, and Bertuzzi getting that +2 overall. The Fedorov line, because you wanted Fedorov and there's nothing you can do with Fedorov right now. And then that Lindros line with Shanahan and Huberdeau. And then, of course, getting the overall boost on Thompson and then the Chara boost. And to top that off, we have Pronger and Chelios as our defensive pair at the top. Fedorov, Naslin, and line A. Chara and Lindholm. I love that Chara and Lindholm pairing. I rock it too. Even though it's lefty-lefty, you can't hate it. And then this Louis Anton Deneau. Said all of that wrong, but this is a steal of a goalie as well that keeps popping up. And Theo Fleury with Ryan Smith and Ryan McDonald. You love to see it. Red Eye popping his team in here. A lot of boosts on this team I'm seeing. We got the AP boost of Uyghur and Pronger. We got the overall boost of the two Boston guys. We've got the Anaheim Ducks with McTavish, Solani, and Granlund. Fedorov popping in on the second line. And then that Czech, Colorado, Sweden third line with the over 2 overall. And flexing in net, we got Lundqvist as a pulled card from a pack. And then we've got Mo Sider with Samuelson getting that combination to get them up 2 overall. And of course, Solani, Roenick, Bedard getting that 2 overall. And then Fedorov and Jarvis being partnered with Ehlers is absolutely nasty. We have the partnership of Andres Lee getting his chemistry boosts with his division for 5 AP. That was hard to get out. Canada tacking on 3 AP, and then Powers and Letang tacking on another 5 AP with Logan Thompson in net. Hell of a team we got here. Definitely activating everything you can to really give yourself a good little boost in every category. Thank you guys for watching the first community team review of NHL 26. I had a blast doing it. I can't wait till next Sunday to see what you guys all got. Thank you for everyone in chat helping review the teams, and thank you for putting your teams in Discord. If you guys do want to put your team in the next video, the link is in the description to the Discord below. And thank you till next time. Ciao, ciao.